Boogie. What up, bro?
Tyrese. See, you can't hear a word.
Yeah, can't hear you, brother.
I didn't get the memo that you were going to be wearing a Fuelfest t-shirt, so let me get my shit together.
Oh, we had uniforms here?
You
we had uniforms here.
Ty's always busting my balls when I'm not wearing Fuelfest, so I figure, I don't, so I had to show some love. Actually, this is our Japan shirt from a year ago.
Yeah, babe, hold on, babe. Can I please have my white Fuelfest t-shirt, please? The one that I had on the other day. I need this so badly. I'm doing an interview and I have to represent. As soon as you find it, bring that. Oh, we found it.
There we go.
It's all right. I got this.
Always like this, or?
And I don't have I don't have a Fuelfest. Where is it? No Fuelfest hat in sight. I'm in this thing.
There we go.
Now, I've known you guys for 5 minutes. I've already begged while you weren't around, Tyrese, for coupons for the Scottsdale event. So now I want to beg for a t-shirt too. So
yeah, we got to get you covered, man, because you really like are out here on your own right now, not representing.
I'm bringing the level down here quite a bit here.
Jeff's out here by me. He's in Arizona too. Turns out, just moved from New York.
Oh wow, there you go, my man. Well, I'm sorry I'm late, fellas. I was wrapping up a call, but let's get it going. Cody, I love you and I miss you.
I love you, man.
Also, right at the bat, if you just come out of the recording studio, like, how long does it take to record a song?
Me? Oh God. This has been the most challenging album of my life because it's an album about an unexpected divorce that I'm still in the middle of. So yeah, it's been very, very challenging. Most people who don't sing would say, "Oh, you're a singer, so just get in the studio and sing." But yeah, I'm an empath, bro. I feel everything, and when I go through things, it festers and I carry it and it lingers and it's on me. So when I go to the studio for this specific album, because my vulnerabilities are so raw, I'll take 5-6 days off after trying to do one song because I'm putting so much into the music. So for everyone who's heard the album thus far from just private listening sessions, they like, yo, I don't know what's going on, but I've never heard you sing and never felt anything that I've ever done musically that feels this in your chest, So it's been a very painful and beautiful process to discover so much beauty in my pain, but I'm getting through, and I can tell both of you. I say this to Cody all the time. There is nothing worse than a divorce. There is nothing worse than waking up one day and everything that you have pertaining to family just goes up in smoke. There's nothing worse. And so let her win. Let her win every argument. Let her win. There's nothing more uncomfortable than being without that family dynamic, man. It's like we can all hustle and get money. We can all be serial entrepreneurs. But boy, I tell you, to come home to an empty house with no kids, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now, musically and creatively. But I'm not sad. I'm just more so I'm just kind of unraveling my stuff and putting it all in this album. And these Fuelfest events for me there's two things that's happened since my divorce. It's been Fuelfest and when I randomly went off to do The Masked Singer. that has been life changing for me, because it's like I'm in such a tunnel with this process of getting through this divorce. And then whenever I go to a Fuelfest event, it's like Disneyland on steroids. It's like, how can you not be happy when feeling all of this happiness that's around you with cars and adrenaline and kids and people and the energy of the fans and the excitement? It's been life altering. Like when I leave a Fuelfest event, the positivity and the energy is so infectious. It gets me through at least 2 months at a time of happiness.
And it is so contagious too, Jeff. Like it is unbelievable when we get together for these events. It's so much fun, and it's everyone just beaming ear to ear. It's awesome.
Yeah.
When you guys do this, what's like the most common question you get, or the most common comment you get from fans, attendees, all of that when you at these Fuelfests?
Well, I think the biggest thing is whenever we do these shows in these different markets, people are so stoked that we're bringing it to their town. We started Fuelfest a little over 4, maybe 5 years ago, and we've slowly grown. And so a lot of firsts for the first couple of years, and everyone's just so happy that we're putting together a fun, safe environment for people that just love cars, all makes, models, everyone's welcome. And just to see that, like, hey, we see you, we see the scene is there, we're coming, let's put this together and let's celebrate the culture. I think that's the biggest takeaway always. It's like, you guys are here, you put on an awesome event, thank you so much for acknowledging that we're here. This is what I love to do. I love cars. I grew up with them. And so it's awesome. It's a great feeling to hear that from the fans. Like, oh man, like right on. Like I'm stoked to be here too. Like this is contagious, positive energy. And that's what it's all about.
I think, to add to what Cody was just saying, it's been life changing. Like I said, people, what they always say is, be nice to everyone, because you just never know what people are going through. And so, yes, I know it's our Fuelfest event, I know it's our thing, but people don't even understand what these Fuelfest events have been doing for my happiness while I'm there attending it and enjoying all of this beautiful energy. And then in the end, I think as an entrepreneur, as Cody's brother and Paul's brother, I think there is no greater joy than having calls and emails and mapping out and planning out and putting all this stuff together to then show up to an event and see all of this stuff manifest right in front of you. Because there is a such thing as a Tyrese and Cody Walker if we were like concert promoters. There's a such thing as saying, let's book this person, this rapper, this singer, and then we get there, all of this money is spent, and then there's like 7 people in the audience. So we're doing these Fuelfest events, and they're like extremely successful. And it's like, wow, man, like we could have kept all of this stuff in our brains, and we would have robbed the world of experience and car culture and energy and family and adrenaline on this level. So I'm proud for so many different reasons, more than you could ever imagine. And again, going back to your original question, sorry I'm long-winded, I'm just passionate. I don't really know if I can sum up what bits and pieces of fans' feedback is, because I don't really hold people to their comments or their words. I don't really think most people could explain their experience. They can't just say, oh man, that was off the hook, man, it was fun, man. Oh man, no. They're talking about this for like 6 months at a time, continuing to feel whatever it is that they're feeling. This is not a microwave. This is not like, hey man, put the popcorn in the microwave, popcorn, it comes out 3 minutes. And then how was that popcorn? Oh man, my fingers were salty, it was buttery, blah, blah, blah. And then you wrap it up. You cannot wrap up how you feel about attending a Fuelfest event because it covers so many different feelings. And then let's go back. Let's go back to this very, very important piece. These fans and supporters have grew up with the Fast and the Furious now for 23 years. And they have never been able to attend an event other than a movie premiere or an advanced screening of a film or sitting behind all these beautiful barricades that's normally taking over whole streets and boulevards when the movie premieres happen. But they have never been able to meet, connect, and vibe with the car culture and the Fast and the Furious experience since the movie has came out. So now you got me, you got Cody, and you got all of the other cast members, including Vin Diesel, now showing up to these Fuelfest events. And it's like, oh my God, this is what we've seen for 20 plus years in the movies. And now we get to actually experience it in real life. You can't put words to that, man. This is crazy.
And what Tyrese is saying too, like we're people that grew up watching the films, of course, but we are creating this very special event, and we're getting people that have never come to even a simple car show before, that have never seen drifting, didn't even know that was a sport before. So we're getting people that already love it, and we're also introducing it to people to the realization that there is a real culture for this. This isn't just make-believe fairy tale land. This is very, very real. And we do a great job at welcoming everybody and getting everyone's feet wet. I kind of look at it as, hey, we're helping to nurture and build like that next generation of car lovers and motorsports lovers. So
yeah, which was Cody.
You just nailed two questions I was just going to ask.
That's what Paul did for Cody.
I'm 15 years younger. So I also grew up watching the films. Obviously, it's different for me being, the little brother, right? I saw them differently than everyone else did, but they had a huge impact on my life, and that's why I love cars to this day. So
yeah, but other than the movies, the energy, the conversations, the passion, understanding different styles of cars, engines, where these cars come from Japan to Russia to Germany. That's a German car, that's an American car. That dialogue and energy and the Walker's home was very real every day, independent of bottling it up in a Fast and the Furious. So Cody, what he just said is he's basically saying, I am introducing people to the car culture in such a real and extreme way, and it's going to contribute to the future gearheads and car culture believers and adrenaline junkies, because he was introduced to it from Paul Walker and his brother at home. You know what I mean? Like, I never had this at my house. I never had anybody talking about the size of a tailpipe and the horsepower in a car, or no, this never happened. As a matter of fact, as many movies as I've done, if we were doing an interview and Cody said, hey man, what is the difference between a blah, 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 and a blah, 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 blah? My response would be blah, 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 blah. I don't know the damn answer. I don't know nothing about
it. It is so fun.
I love this. I think so for those people who say, hey, it's a car show. What do you tell them? Like, no, it's not a car show. It's more than that.
Oh, our shows are alive. It's not just a car show. Car show typically means static, cars parked in a parking lot. Not to take anything away from those. I've been to many of those, enjoy those. It's a great time to BS with everybody that also has that passion. But our shows are dynamic and alive. It's car show and it's motorsports and it's concert and it's all of these things brought together, in celebration of the overall culture. Typically, you think of car shows, it'll be classic cars or, it'll be a specific type of car show. Fuelfest is everything. You'll see Japanese cars, you'll see Euro cars, you'll see exotic cars, hyper cars, custom one-off builds, purpose-built rides, drag cars, grip cars, drift cars. It's really everything. And that's one thing that we're so proud of with Fuelfest, is because that was always the whole idea. I get asked constantly, as does Tyrese, yo, what's your favorite car? I'm envious of people that can just flat out, bam, look you in the eye and tell you what their one favorite car is. But that's not me. I'm looking all over the place. Of course, I like the tuner cars. I also like American muscle cars. And I feel like as I get older, I like them more and more. The sound of a V8 engine is just like unreal. It's just
the tuner cars.
Say again, bro. You broke up.
You said you love the tuner cars?
I love the tuner cars. Yeah, that's my first love. The Japanese tuner cars.
There we go. See, he's talking about stuff that he's speaking that language again. You see there?
So same question to you. What is your favorite car now? And off of that, what's the one thing that you have learned from Cody about cars since this all started?
Not much, because we don't.
You've learned a whole lot, bro. You got to be kidding me. The biggest thing I'll tell you about Tyrese and the types of cars Tyrese loves. Tyrese loves very comfortable, quick, smooth cars. He likes his big
engine sounds.
Well, that's true, but you also but it's okay if it's got an engine and it's as quiet as it is. But some of your cars I've hopped in and it's like, is this thing on? Like, I just got a P12, bro. Like, what's going on here? Whereas I'm more like precision. I guess I'm almost more into lightweight cars that don't necessarily have all the horsepower in the world. If you just look at some of the cars I own. Tyrese is definitely more into the like real high end, very comfortable GT style cars.
Well, no, when I said I haven't learned much, let me please clarify. Me and Cody don't sit up and have car culture conversation. Sorry. Let me clarify. We don't have conversations about this car, this engine, this RPM, this, how tight it is if you put it on the road, and we don't have those type of conversations. And I also never had those conversations with Paul, because talking to me about any of those particulars, the conversation is going to go like this. Right. Oh, wow. Okay. Right. Right. So you're listening, but you don't really understand what stand about this level. They are like real car guys. They really understand this stuff and speak the language. And so, after 2 minutes of going, right, got it. Oh, okay. After 2 minutes of that, then it'd be like, okay, well, he hasn't said anything in response to anything that I just said, so he must don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is a two-way street. this is a two-way street, because you get the two of us together, and this guy right here is the most incredible entertainer you have ever seen in your life. You get people, he is just electric, on fire. It is the most contagious feeling in the world. And that's his world. You put this guy on stage, you give him a microphone, you give him something, and everything could be going wrong. And yet somehow he's got all these, this is the show business. It's all these things. I'm just the goofy guy up there saying, hey, what's up on the stage? And I'm looking at this guy like, what do we do now? And then he starts dancing and like doing all that. I'm just like, I better get out of here, bro.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Full on. But I will say this again. This was the exact beauty. And did we lose Cody? Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, there. Yep. This was the exact beauty and the dynamic that I had with my bro, our bro, Paul. It was like, yo, what is he gonna say next? What is he gonna do next? And then even though we're together, Cody has never not looked at me like, what is he about to do? What is he about to say? What's about to happen? And so it has been a dance. It has been a beautiful dance. No two interview is ever the same. No two Fuelfest is ever the same. And then I think of all things, fun, magic. I think for me, one of the things that I cherish the most with you, Cody, is I cherish that, just like with Paul, we used to have these heavy heart-to-heart conversation about things. And it would be things that we would take, it'd be like, yo, man, we talking about this, and we ain't gonna ever repeat it, and we're gonna keep it to ourselves. We're gonna walk in this room with this new understanding. And it was nothing bad. It was like, it was like really these huddles is what I would call them. Talking about a movie, talking about a thing or a situation or a problem or magic or and then we would get in these huddles and we would have these conversations and we would look at each other and we would go, I bet you got it. I got it. And then it would happen. I've been doing that with Cody lately. It has been the highlight of my life, man. It has been the highlight of my life, because especially if me and Cody have a moment where we agree to disagree on something, then he ultimately goes, all right, let's make it happen. And then it's like, yo, I'm experiencing everything that Tyrese said I would experience. And I'm so glad I ultimately listened and heard him out. And then he's done that for me. And so for me, yes, Fuelfest, fans, Fuelfest.com. We're on our way to Japan. We're building something, cars, kids, 12 and under. I want you guys to understand that I have a brotherhood and a continued brotherhood from Paul into Cody. And it is literally the highlight of my life that we have such a beautiful exchange, and we're making history from creating these Fuelfest experiences where people are saying, the person that I showed up as, I left that event and that moment a very different person than I ever was before I got there. And I just want y'all to know it happens for me too.
So how long do these conversations go on for?
These conversations,
sometimes
they're short, sometimes they're much longer. Sometimes it turns into a car ride. It could be anything.
Sometimes I look down and I go, oh, I've walked 10 miles. I'm one of those people who likes to go on a walk. We got big conversations to be had. But it's like Ty just said, though, it's that's when it's real, because sometimes it's like, we see something a different way or whatever, but we're always able to pull through it. It's like, oh, hey, you know what? I got you. I hear you. I see what you're saying. Trust me on this one time. Okay. Right. All right, fine. And vice versa.
Yeah,
You know,
and
that's how it works. That's
funny.
real.
And next thing you know,
That's
you
real.
look down and we're at 10 miles. Next thing you know, we're at the top of Mount Everest. Like, oh my God, how did we get here?
100%.
So every one of these events, every one of these field fests, is there ever a time I would assume that you guys look at each other or think about it and say, hey, what would Paul think about this event we just had? Does that go through your minds at all time?
Every single time. Every single time. That was the big reason why I wanted to create these events too. I'm glad you asked that question. Something that's very important to Tyrese, myself, and my family, and so many of Paul's friends, is his charity, Reach Out Worldwide. You know, I've been doing everything I can since Paul passed away to raise funding and awareness for his charity. And I thought, hey, I want to create something sustainable, something that's awesome, fun, something that Paul would be proud of, and something that can help raise those funds for charity. Paul was everything for Reach Out Worldwide. He funded it 100%. So when he passed away, I mean, it was like, here's this thing, this piece of him that he left behind. But I don't have pockets like that. I can't fund something like that. Like how can I give back and honor something that he was so passionate about? And so that's a big part of Fuelfest. Tyrese and I and everything that we've done with Fuelfest, we've raised about $360,000 for charity at this point. So we're always thinking, what would Paul think about this? We're up on stage together, and at times too, it's like we're laughing, we're having such a good time, and then there's emotional moments too. It's like, damn, the only reason we're standing up here right now is because somebody ain't here anymore. So
those are what he just said. He hit that thing out the park. There is not enough bandwidth in our day to just focus on how much fun we're having. We have never, and hopefully will never, lose sight of how me and Cody know each other, what the connection is, and what the mission and the goal is. You can only do so much in a Fast and the Furious movie. I feel like putting these experiences up on his feet and having people that's like, oh man, nice to meet. There's people that are neighbors that never met each other. There's people that have cars that they have never pulled out their garage and they're doing it, and then running into their friends and family and loved ones they ain't seen in years, that went to high school together, and then introducing their kids to each other for the first time because it's 12 and under, get in for free. It's literally everything that Paul represented. And then I don't really know if I would be a part of it if it wasn't a Reach Out Worldwide charitable component to it all, because that's all the incentive. Yes, I'm excited about the experiences and all the energy, but just knowing that all 20,000, 15,000 people showing up, and it's contributing to a greater good, something that Paul was extremely passionate about before he passed. I mean, I sleep really good at night. We sleep good at night, just knowing that we're doing this on his behalf, So yeah.
How many hours of sleep do you get?
Not much. Not much. No, I gotta, in order for me to go to sleep at night, I definitely gotta take something to wind down. Because my mind is always creating and going and just processing. That's the Capricorn in me. I'm always processing and thinking. Nothing bad, nothing negative, nothing depressive. Just like I am always creating and trying to figure out, okay, well, before it's all over, how do I go about emptying myself of everything that I was here to do? And so, yeah, pretty deep, but it's very real for me. I don't, my mind doesn't work in a fragmented way. I'm not like, oh, I'm just gonna get through next week and we good. Like my mind is always way up there.
Why don't you, I get two more music, perfect R&B song. Can you do it on the fly? Or does it have to come from an emotional experience? Into it.
Can I do? All right, this is embarrassing because Cody has never seen me do this.
What's going on here? You never know. You never know, Jeff. What's going on here?
You never know.
What's going on here?
Prepare yourself. No. So, you know what I mean? This is what happens. Lyrics together. Fuelfest is coming to a city in the country near you. You better get your tickets online now.
So the answer is on the fly then.
The answer is on the fly. Cody's wearing his earbuds with his Fuelfest shirt from Japan. Oh, he's the man. That's it. Fuelfest.com, y'all. Get what you get down. Yeah.
And do you guys still have time to work out or train or stay in shape with all these long schedules, all these long hours?
You asking me or Cody?
It's both.
Well,
who wants to start?
Well, I've got three kids now. My youngest is 3 months old, so I've been a bit on team no sleep myself. Nothing like this guy over here. To Tyrese, I never have to worry about, what time zone might he be in? I know that fool's awake. It doesn't matter. If I've got a question or something, I know he's gonna get back to me like on the spot. I get to the gym honestly 3-4 days a week. I recently got back on the wagon about a month ago. I love that functional fitness. I have 3 kids. I'm constantly picking them up, and you're like kind of awkward. You're juggling. You're putting them in and out of a car. So, I like to incorporate the core with everything that I do, and split it up with endurance and strength workouts and stuff like that. And bike, I don't run a whole lot. I got a bum right knee, always have. But that's what I like. I'm not trying to. My body's always really responded well to the functional training rather than lifting super heavy stuff like that. So,
Tyrese, what time do you work out?
What time or when?
What time?
Man, I don't really have a routine or a set schedule at all. I just kind of rock whenever I can, I don't really have any routine if I think about it. I'm just existing. So I love the crazy thing is a lot of the food that I eat, other than the bad stuff, is I love salmon, I love sea bass, but I love it as a general fish, versus how healthy it is. I love sea bass and salmon. And I also love spinach and broccoli and green beans and vegetables and all the healthy stuff that that one's mom would hope to instill in their child, and they go about it the rest of their life. But yeah, these are some of my favorite dishes, and they just so happen to be healthy. Um, but yeah, I feel like between me physically running around, like what Cody just mentioned about his kids, that's me in life. Like all day, every day, I'm lifting, pulling, grabbing, running around, doing something. And then when I'm able to hit the gym, I go for it, but I also love the sauna. It's one of my favorite things. It's in a gym. It ain't really calisthenics or a treadmill, but yeah, one of my favorite things is to jump in the sauna after a workout.
Have you done one of those the cold plunges, like in the ice bath? Never?
No, sir.
No. I just did it for the first time last week.
No, what did you
hurts.
No.
Everyone was like, hey, it's the breathing and then the feet and the hands. For me, I don't know. I'm super comfortable in the water. That was my thing growing up. Water polo, swim team, all that. So it wasn't about the breathing. It was the hands and the feet. Just hurt so bad. I didn't get to the point where they went numb and I just wrote it out. It was about just over a minute. I was like, I'm out of this thing. And then you crawl out and then your feet are hurting so bad, and it takes a few seconds to get everything back in order. I want to give it another crack though. I do believe there are big health benefits for it. I understand it's something you got to work yourself into.
I never heard anybody say that they feet and hands hurt after jumping in ice plunge. That's crazy.
Dude, they're the first things that got to numb because they're your extremities. And like I felt that before surfing in the ocean in an early morning in the winter when it was really cold, but this is like, I think the water was like 40 degrees, 39 degrees, something like that.
Yeah, when I do, I can breathe my way through it, but as soon as I get out of it, I get that little bit of a tingle. I'm like a little woozy, like a little drunk woozy for a moment where things start to rock a little bit. Then 10 minutes into it, it's all okay.
How long will you sit in the ice bath, like at a time?
I got the 7 minutes one time.
Wow.
That was just breathing my way through it. And as soon as that 7 minutes was up, jumped right on out of there.
Yeah,
a long time.
Let me just give y'all a little secret. First of all, I hate anything cold other than cold water. I don't take cold showers, and I normally use fireplaces even in the summer. I love heat. I love warm. That is not anything that I can see myself signing up for. I don't care if it's privately or for cameras. It ain't happening. You could not sell me on the benefits of jumping in a bucket of cold water. I don't care.
Yeah. I feel you. I get it. My wife thinks I'm a nut for even trying it, and that I want to continue trying it. We'll see how it goes.
And pay for the experience too.
You bet. Yeah. What is this? Yeah.
All right. One last shameful question. What is drifting?
Drifting. So when I said earlier, grip cars and drift cars, right? Traditionally, you're thinking of a car going around a racetrack, like a road track. Formula One. Do you watch Formula One? Okay. Or have you seen Formula One?
Yes.
That's grip racing. The opposite of that is busting loose the rear end and sliding it around. That's drifting the car. Cars are built differently. Typically high horsepower cars, typically rear wheel drive. Contact is made from time to time, but it's a lot of fun because there's so much visual stuff going on. You're seeing chunks of tire come off the car. You're seeing the tire smoke. You're hearing these engines roar, making 800, 1200 plus horsepower. That's drifting.
Yeah, and the good thing is that not only should people watch Tokyo Drift to really understand drifting, or just look it up on YouTube, but yeah, when the tires, the back tires is burning, the rear tires is burning, you're not just burning rubber and driving straight. The tires is burning and the car is going to the left or going to the right. But at our show, we tend to have about 4 or 5 cars on the side of each other drifting together. And everybody, they would be blown away to see one car drift. But when you see 5 or 6 guys drifting their cars on the side of each other and it's not in a movie, it's people are just like, this is ridiculous. It's a fun time. So
But
anyway,
the majority of our shows are here in the United States. Our next show in the US is at New Jersey Motorsports Park, September 9th. And that's going to be the first time we've ever come to the Mid-Atlantic tri-state area. So it's a big deal for us. We're really excited to bring Fuelfest there. There's a lot of motorheads over there, obviously. And then we're going to be returning to Las Vegas October 6th and 7th. And then we're going to round out our year in Scottsdale at Westworld on December 9th, which is obviously this will be your first winter, but the winter here in Arizona is phenomenal. So that's how we're finishing the year.
I have a last comment. First of all, Cody, I love you.
I love you, man.
And Jeff, I appreciate you giving us this stage and this platform. Because there's so many people out here excited and passionate about the things that they're doing and building, from real estate to tech to just anything. And for you to be willing to give us, your stage and platform to be able to put Fuelfest on people's radars means the world to us. This all started for me and Cody sitting at Red Lobster and him mentioning this idea. And I was like, oh my God, I think this is going to be crazy. Like it was a no brainer. And then to be able to kind of see this all materialize and become something so big, and a very small amount of time. And then, I always give hats off to Cody because, I think I'm the more aggressive one of the two, but I've been reminded that I'm not, because Cody has the audacity of a lion. And I'll be like, hey, man, let's just slow it down. Let's not do as many Fuelfest per year. And he's like, oh. And then every time we show up, I'm on stage and I'm having to be forced to look over at Cody and his wife and go, I was wrong. There's 30,000 people out here. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Oh, man.
I guess, I am not conservative at all, just as a general person. But I guess I am pretty conservative compared to the audacity of Cody. But for all of the fans and supporters and new fans who have just decided, today is Saturday. You could have been on a boat, at a park, at a picnic. You could have been at home watching sports, and you decided to put your whole family and your kids in the car and go and show up to an event you've never heard of in your life called Fuelfest. We are so fucking grateful. Okay? That's it.
Amen.